Hi guys, Chef Decker here for another installment of CUL 150 Culinary Math tutorial. And this is on section 4.2 in our textbook, which is CIA's Math for the Professional Kitchen, okay? So if you have me in class, you know that in my intro on this section, I talked about my latest trip to Disney. And in that intro, I talked about the fact that there's a ride at Disney that is really fun. And that ride is called Expedition Everest. I don't know why I forgot that. Okay, Expedition Everest. And in that ride, the roller coaster takes you on this crazy trip to the top. And then you get there and you've arrived at where you think you want to be. And then all of a sudden, if you've been there, what happens next? It whips you backwards to the place you started. That's what 4.2 is. 4.2, we ended at number of portions or portion size. We had to talk about AP, yield percent, EP, and then we found out either how many portions we could serve or what the portion size we could serve if we knew the number of portions. Well, now we're going to assume, okay, well, what if we know that? What if we know that we have blank amount of guests coming and that our portion size is blank? How much would we order then? So we are in this roller coaster. We headed to number of portions or portion size. Now we're going to start with that knowledge and we're going to whip it in reverse and go back to solve for AP, which is what we knew in 4.1. Okay, so you ready to figure this out? All right, let's begin. So in this section, we said that now we're going to say, what if we know? Okay, so what if we know the number of portions and the portion size? That then would equal our EP quantity, wouldn't it? Okay, so if I get out of the way here, if we know, trying to get this glare gone for you guys, if we know the number of portions and we know the portion size, then we know EP quantity. We know how much we need altogether, right? We know we have, if you're looking on page 104, we know we have 250 guests coming, and we know that each guest will get 5 ounces per portion. So we know when we multiply that together, well, we need 1,250 ounces. Now we're going to use another formula we know because we want to get to AP. So if we know EP, how do we get to AP? Well, we know this. EP divided by yield percent, EP, will give us our AP. Okay? So we're going to pull back and we're going to utilize that old friend that we have. EP times Y percent equals AP. So let's look at a problem and let's solve this one together as we take this roller coaster backwards and arrive back at AP. Okay, let's look at number 9, and I'm on page 110. Each of 184 guests at a Sunday brunch will be served 1/3 pound of peeled diced cantaloupe. The average cantaloupe weighs 2 pounds. If cantaloupes come 12 to a case, how many cases, that's what we're solving for, of cantaloupe should you purchase? And then we can round this up to the nearest whole number. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to erase this, so mark this down so I have room. Number of portions times portion size is going to give us our EP quantity, and then EP times yield percent is going to give us our AP quantity. Okay, so let's look at this. We know that how many people are coming to this party or this Sunday brunch. I love brunch. Do you love brunch? 184. 184 people, okay, or servings are coming. And the portion size we're going to give them is 1/3 of a pound. Well, we know from the very beginning of this class that we can't use fractions in our formulas, so we're going to convert this to a decimal, okay? So you know that to do that, 1 divided by 3 would get that to a decimal. So 0.333 of a pound is going to be the portion size. So when we multiply 184 times 1/3 of a pound, or 0.333, we're getting 61.272 pounds. Okay? And remember, we said number of people times portion size solves for our EP quantity. So we solved for EP. Now, the next thing we have to do is we're looking at this, and in our recipe, it doesn't say the people will be served a half of a cantaloupe or an eighth of a cantaloupe or anything like that. It says pounds, so we need yield percent, okay? Now, this problem doesn't show us yield percent, so pause this, go to 269 and forward, and find out the yield on cantaloupe. Okay, if you're back, then you have found out that the yield on cantaloupe is 58%. I'm just going to write this up here, okay? Equals yield percent. Yield percent. So now we take our 61.272 pounds divided by our yield percent, 0.58. And when we do that, we should come up with 105.4595 pounds. 105.4595 pounds. And remember, guys, when you're dividing by a decimal, you should end up with more than you started, okay? So EP divided by your yield should always be a greater amount than you started, because you're going to need to order more than the fabricated amount would end up being. So this makes sense to us, okay? So now the last thing that we're going to look at, or the second to last thing, is we want to bridge from, it says, the question says, how many cases? So let's bridge from pounds to cases. So we're going to go pounds, and then we know how many, we know that a cantaloupe weighs 2 pounds, right? So pounds to eaches to cases. And if we do that, 105.4595 pounds over 1, the bridge tells us pounds go down, eaches go up, and when we look in the problem, we see that a cantaloupe weighs 2 pounds, 1 each weighs 2 pounds, pounds to case, and then a cantaloupe, or let me see, I'm sorry, eaches, this should be, eaches to case, tells us that there are 12 eaches in 1 case. Did I freak you out? Did I make you nervous on that? I made myself nervous, okay? So if we multiply across the top, and we get 105.4595 divided by 24. Our final solution should be 4.3941 cases. Okay? And then if you rounded, you would probably need to order 5. Right? And when we get to section 4.4, we'll do grocery lists, and then you'll really begin to start rounding. So if you have any questions, message me, comment on this video, email me, or stop by during my office hours, or drop into the free tutoring session. All right. Hope you got this. Hope these videos were helpful. See you soon. Bye.